everyone, hope you're good and be happy always. Once again, welcome to Shachi's Academy, and now we will discuss components of total cost. We have already discussed what is cost and what are different types of cost in our previous two parts, and now we will discuss other details of our cost. And here specifically we will discuss short-term cost output relationship. Okay, let's start with the topic then. Short-term cost output relationship. The short term is a period of time over which firm is unable to vary its all inputs. Basically, in your business ventures, there are two types of inputs, that is your variable inputs and fixed inputs. Fixed inputs are basically plant and machinery that is used for production, and variable inputs are raw material, labor, electricity, your diesel, petrol, anything that is used to run your machines, and greasing and other things are also included. So, which can be varied very easily. Variable word has been taken from word vary, that means changeable. So, the factors which can be changed very easily with lesser amount of cost or lesser amount of input as a cost, less money, that is your variable input, because raw material is a cheap commodity in comparison to machines. We can't buy machines every day, but we can go for buying a raw material and we can hire some casual labor every day on everyday basis also. So the things which are very expensive, which need a lot of investment, which need lot of capital, which you need to take loan from somewhere, from bank or some institution, that is your fixed input like machine and plant. Because plant is like a building where you establish your machines and set up your every production activity and carry on your production. Machines also are very expensive inputs, so those are fixed inputs, and raw material and labor and other things are variable inputs. So in the short run, a firm can only change its variable inputs and cannot change all the factors of production, that is fixed factors cannot be changed. Yeah, some of the inputs are fixed and others are variable in your short term. So short run total cost include cost of both fixed and variable inputs, or short run total cost is a sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. Fixed and variable cost are your cost pertaining to fixed factors and variable factors. So here the formula or the equation is your total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus variable cost, because for production you need machines and plant along with your raw material. So raw material and other labor cost are your variable factors, variable cost, and your fixed cost includes your cost of your loan, principal amount that you pay to your bank in installments, or the premium for your insurance policies that you take on machines or plant, etc. So those are fixed and they do not change on every day or every month basis. And variable costs, they keep on changing. The production, higher the production, higher will be the cost, and lower the production, lower will be the cost. Okay, then total cost. Total cost, it is the actual or accounting cost that is incurred to produce a given quantity of output in the short run by using both fixed and variable inputs. In short run, what is total cost? That is the cost of all the inputs, fixed and variable inputs, and that is included in your recorded in your accounting books, and that's why it is known as actual cost or your accounting cost. Why? Because we have already studied in our previous videos that there are explicit cost and implicit cost. Explicit costs are your actual cost that you actually pay for your plant, for your machinery, for your raw material, labor, etc. in money terms. And implicit costs are the costs which are just like hidden cost. If you are using your own house for your own business, that is implicit cost, because you are not paying directly, you are not paying money directly to anyone as rent for that building, and that building could have earned rent somewhere. So you are losing that amount and you are using that for your own business. So here costs are not clear for that building. Okay, rent is not clear over here. The costs which are not clear, and the businessman, when he uses his own assets or own resources for business, these are included in your implicit cost. Maybe he is using his own labor, he may use his own building, he may use his own electricity or anything, or he may use his own children as workers. So that is implicit cost, and that is just like hidden, it can't be traced, it is not included in your accounting books. Then total fixed cost. Total fixed cost, the total fixed cost stands for the total cost incurred by the firm per unit of time for all fixed inputs. When you purchase any machine that is used for nearly at least 10 to 20 years. So up till 20 years, you will use that machine, and that's why it is recorded as per unit of time for all fixed inputs. Fixed inputs are recorded per unit of time because they are purchased once and used for at least 20 years or maybe 10 years for some machines. So they are long-term usable factors, and here that term is used in this manner. They do not vary with changes in output. See, for example, if you want to open a bakery to produce biscuits, bread, patties, etc. or pastries, so here you will have to set up a plant or say a bakery in some building, and then you will have to buy some machines, ovens and baking machines and other utensils to produce those breads or manufacture those breads, and those are known as fixed factors. So once you have purchased them, okay, then they do not vary with the output. You may produce only one packet of bread per day, then also you will have use those machines, and if you are producing nearly 100 packets of bread per day, then also you will use those machines only up till you attain the maximum production capacity of a machine. And what is maximum productive or production capacity of any machine? Take for example, you have a washing machine, you have a laundry at your home, you have a business of simple laundry. Then in your washing machine, if you can wash 100 cloths per day, that is the maximum capacity of your machine. In one lot, you can wash nearly 10 to 15 cloths, and you may run your machine for 4 to 5 hours or 6 hours. Okay, then you may wash nearly 100 to 150 cloths per day. So that is your maximum capacity of machine. In the same manner, similar manner, we have other machines which have their maximum capacity. If you can run any machine for 8 hours and produce, say for example, in baking machine you can produce nearly 100 packets of bread, that is maximum capacity per day, maximum capacity of your baking machine. But if you have to increase your production in short run, you will use more of raw material like your flour, wheat flour, or your butter, sugar or other raising agents like your baking powder and baking soda, and you will use more of them and produce more packets of bread, but up till a certain limit only. Maybe if you are producing only 100 packets of bread per day in your baking machine, you can produce 120 to 130 packets of bread per day. Not more than that. If you want to increase capacity up till 1000 packets of bread per day, then you will have to install new machines and buy a new plant or install a new plant. Okay, so that is maximum capacity, and here your fixed inputs normally do not change with your production. Up till a certain limit, they remain fixed only. Even if the output is zero, they will still have to be incurred. If you do not produce anything, like during the times of COVID-19 pandemic, during lockdowns, no production was done in any factory, but producers had to bear fixed cost. Okay, they had to pay rent of their building, they had to bear the wear and tear cost of their machines, they had to pay premium of their insurance policies on machines and plant, and they had to pay principal amount and interest to the bank for their loans they took for buying their machines. Okay, so all the fixed costs they had to bear even if production was zero during lockdowns. Then examples of total fixed costs are depreciation of machinery, salaries of administrative staff just like managers, CEOs, etc., higher officials, then payment of interest and capital borrowed. If you take some loan from bank, then you will have to pay the principal amount and some interest on that on per month basis. Then insurance premium has to be paid, payment of factory rent has to be paid on per month basis, and property taxes has to be paid on per month basis to authorities. These all were fixed costs. Then total variable cost. The variable I told you before, and also that variable comes from the very word vary in English means change. That is changeable is variable. Okay. So they are the costs that are incurred on variable factors. What are the variable factors? Raw material, casual labor, those you can hire and fire on everyday basis. People, you may hire some person for one day, you may ask that person to transport or carry that baggage to some location, and you can just say that this is your per day wage wage for one day, and you can go now. Okay, so that is casual labor. Okay, then you can buy raw material also, that is also a variable factor. The variable cost vary directly with the change in output. Take for example, if you want to produce 10 packets of bread in your bakery, then you will require only small amount 2-3 kgs of wheat flour and other items also in small amounts. But if you want to manufacture 100 packets of bread, then you require nearly one whole packet, big packet of your wheat flour. Then other things also you will have to purchase in larger amounts. So larger the production of any commodity, larger will be a variable cost, and smaller or lower the production of any commodity, lower will be your variable cost. It increases and decreases. Increases with increase in output and decreases with decrease in output. In the short run, if the firm wants to increase its output, it will have to use additional variable factors. Therefore, variable cost will increase when output rises and vice versa. Total variable cost is zero when output is zero. Okay? So, if you don't want to produce anything in your factory, in your bakery, you don't have to incur, you don't have to buy any variable inputs or raw material, then your cost is zero. Okay, total variable cost is zero if output is zero. You don't produce anything, you don't incur any cost. It increases with increase in output, although the rate of increase may not be constant. So, if your raw material becomes expensive, the rate of increase in variable cost will be higher. But if the if the variable factors become cheaper, then you can purchase with lesser amount of money, then rate of increase will be lesser or it may decrease also. Okay, done. Examples of variable cost. These are cost of raw materials, cost of labor that you hire and for an everyday basis you can do, or on monthly basis also some labor you can have casual labor. Cost of fuel, electricity, then cost of transportation, etc. all are variable factors. You can vary. This increases with increase in production, decrease with decrease in production. See, if you run machine for longer hours or maybe for 10 hours per day, then you will have to incur more cost on these factors. But if you just produce very small amount of commodity, then your machines will run only for 1-2 hours and then you will have to incur lesser cost on these factors. Same is the case with raw material also. If you produce less, you will require less amount of raw material and less cost will be included. That means your variable cost will be lesser. If you want to increase your production, you will buy more raw material and more cost will be included. Then here is the graphical representation. Here we have total cost, total variable cost and total fixed cost. Here, take for example your total fixed cost is fixed. How it is fixed? Take for example, in your bakery, you invested 10 lakh rupees for machines and for your administrative salary also. You have 10 lakh rupees of investment. Okay, that will remain fixed. And for that 10 lakh rupees on per month basis, if you have to pay, you have invested in one go, you took a loan of 10 lakh rupees and you have investment of 10 lakh rupees. But after that, on per month basis, if you invest or if you incur total fixed cost of 1 lakh rupees. So this is 1 lakh amount and that is fixed. On per month basis, even if you produce only one packet of bread, you will incur 1 lakh rupees. If you produce 100 packets of bread, that may be the maximum capacity, then also you will have to incur 1 lakh rupees. So with production, total fixed cost is not increasing or decreasing. You may not produce anything, maybe zero. This is origin, O for origin or zero. Okay, here if your production is zero, but total fixed cost is still 1 lakh rupees. If your production is 100 packets of bread, take for example 100 or 1000 packets of bread, whatever is the maximum capacity of your production house. How big is your bakery, that will decide and how many machines you have in your bakery, that will decide your maximum capacity of production in your business. Okay, suppose if you can produce 100 packets of bread per day with your machine and that is the maximum capacity of your bakery, that means up till 100 packets of bread, your total fixed cost is only rupees 1 lakh per month, nothing more than that. But if your production is zero, your total variable cost, this is C, this curve is total variable cost. Okay, this is zero over here. No production, no total variable cost. More production, more variable cost. Okay, so here when your production is increasing, see, it is increasing in this direction, output is increasing. So your total variable cost is also increasing like a wave. Okay, and now comes your total cost. Total cost is sum total of total fixed cost and total variable cost. Here at origin, your total variable cost is zero, so only you have total fixed cost, that is 1 lakh rupees. So at origin, Your total cost is what? 1 lakh rupees. When your production increases, take for example here, if you buy 50,000 rupees of your variable inputs, that is raw material, your labor, etc., etc. So what is your total cost over here? 1,50,000 rupees here. Here it is what? Here this is 1 lakh rupees. So here at this output you are buying, see here this is line of 1 lakh rupees. So here 1 lakh rupees of fixed cost is there and 1 lakh rupees, because this is intersecting, that means here total fixed cost and variable cost both has become 1 lakh rupees. So here your total cost will be 2 lakh rupees. That is 1 lakh rupees plus this overlapping 1 lakh. So 1 lakh plus 1 lakh is 2 lakh over here. Then if your variable cost is again increasing here, it may be near 2,50,000 rupees over here. Okay. So when your variable cost increases, your total cost also increases. But with fixed cost, it remains constant. Here no output, no variable cost, and total cost is equal to fixed cost. Okay, clear? Then graph explanation, I am not explaining this once again. This you can read it and understand because we have explained. And here Marshall defined these cost as supplementary cost. Some other economists have called the unavoidable cost. What are fixed costs? Fixed costs are unavoidable cost and they are overhead cost also. So they are very important. Then features of fixed cost. Fixed costs are also called constant cost. They remain constant with production. Okay. Because once you have invested in your plant and machinery, you won't buy machine on everyday basis. So fixed cost won't increase. They will remain for 2, 3, 4, 5 years up till you don't expand your plant. Your fixed cost will remain constant. Then they are not a function of the output. When output increases, they do not increase. Okay, initially up till maximum limit is attained, they do not increase. And you can produce either you do not produce anything, or you will produce up till maximum capacity, maybe 100 packets of bread, maybe whatever maximum capacity you have with your plant. That is the output. The amount of production and sale never affects these costs. So whatever amount you are producing and whatever sales you are doing in your market, that will not affect your fixed cost up to the maximum capacity which you have set with your plant. Then firm incurs a fixed cost even when there is no production. During pandemic lockdowns, COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns, all the factories were shut down or production was halted or stopped. There was no production. But producers had to incur fixed costs and they had to pay their premium on every month basis. They had to pay salary of their managers and administrative staffs. They had to pay their loans, interest and the principal amount every month to the banks. So fixed cost remained intact during the shutdown also. There was no production in factories, but still fixed costs were paid by producers. Okay, then up to the limit of maximum production capacity of fixed inputs, plant and machines, fixed costs do not increase. Also called supplementary cost or general cost. For example, rent and interest on loans is your rent is on your plant and interest on loans is called your fixed cost. That features variable cost. Variable cost change over output. When output increases, variable cost increases. We have explained it. They are also defined as function of total output. Output increases, your fixed variable cost increases. That is function. Increase in output will lead to increase in your variable cost. That is the function of your output. Output increases, variable cost will also increase. Output decreases, variable cost will decrease. That's why they are known as function of your output. Why? Because with increase in output and decrease in output, your variable cost also increases and decreases. If the production is zero, the variable cost would also be zero. The variable cost can also vary proportionally with the outputs. In the long run, a fixed cost becomes a variable cost. This is important over here. Why? Because in long run, everything can change. You can increase the capacity of your plant, you can buy new machines, you can set up a new plant, you can establish a new plant, you can buy 4 new plants which you initially bought of that capacity. That means you can do anything in long run. So everything can be changed in long run. That's why every cost becomes variable cost in long run. There are no fixed costs in long run. They have direct effect on cost control and determining the price of the commodity. Variable cost directly impacts your price of the commodity and they are important for cost control measures also. Example, cost of raw materials, cost of casual labor impact your cost of commodity and the price of commodity. Okay, so we have completed the components of total cost, that is total fixed cost and variable cost. We have seen the difference between them, and thanks for watching this video. Normally my videos are somewhat longer. Why? Because I explain the concepts in detail and with the relevance to your day-to-day functioning of business, so they might be longer, but once you read them nicely, once you understand them, you'll be understanding the very concept that is underlying your basic understanding of these costs and all the different say the elements or the components or the terms that we use in your economics or major economics. And for managers also, this is very important. If you want to do business, you need to watch these videos nicely. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless you. And thank you so much for watching my videos and liking and subscribing them.